Hello, it's Philip Taylor speaking from Richmond Green Chambers in London. This morning I'm looking at a very important book for students. It's a book which has been written by the Child Poverty Action Group and the National Union of Students. And it's this book here. See the title? It's called Student Support and Benefits Handbook, England, Wales and Northern Ireland. And it's for the year 2014 to 15, and as you can see it's been written by the CPAG and the NUS. It's a light book, paperback, runs to 326 pages. There is the index at the back. There is in fact a short statement at the back of the book, a spine and a front. What we do have though is this is the 11th edition. It's been written by 3 people: David Malcolm, Lynne, Condell and Angela Toal. It explains who the authors are. It's a light book, it's an important book though. There are the contents pages. You can see what this book is all about. I think it's very important for anybody who's involved in higher education to be aware of this book at the present time because of all the problems with funding. You can see the rest of the contents there, running through the chapters. There are in fact 27 chapters in total and 3 appendices. There's a very interesting foreword which is always well worth reading. That's written by the NUS President and Vice President. You can see the details there. How to use the handbook, always worth reading because it gives you an idea of rates of government support, means testing and so forth. Then you have an abbreviations area. This is absolutely superb for those of you in full-time higher education who I think may well need to have some assistance with the way in which things are going. There's non-means tested benefits there, tax credit rates which could change with the budget next week. I'm recording this in March 2015, and then if I move on, here's part 1, student support. Now you'll notice that there's a shaded area at the back, at the top, and that actually gives you some indication of how to find things quite easily because it gives you the chapter numbers you can see there in the corner. Now the way that the book is structured, the notes are at the back of each chapter. If you're looking for anything specific to rely upon, there are some numbered paragraphs. You can see how, for instance, this is Northern Ireland. You can see the numbering there at the side. It's not paragraph numbered in the standard legal sense, but you can find the stuff pretty easily. As I say, you've got again abbreviations at the back in Appendix 3. Then you've got not a bad index actually. If you're looking for things, you can find stuff quite easily. What you've also got is you've got a number of useful addresses in Appendix 2. And in Appendix 1 you've got general information and advice. As I say, I think this is a very important book for anybody involved in higher education looking to know what might be available. As I say, it's a very light book as well, but the important thing is to know what's available. Now, my wife Elizabeth and I discussed the book and we've written a review which will be on the web and in the journals. We've given it this title: Financial Advice for Students, a practical guide from the Child Poverty Action Group and in collaboration with the National Union of Students. And if you're a student needing financial help or support, or you're tasked with advising students on their financial entitlements, then you need this book. It's virtually like having a student financial advisor at your fingertips. And it's acknowledged as the definitive guide to student support and benefits. So the handbook is the result, as I say, of a collaboration between the National Union of Students, the NUS, and the Child Poverty Action Group, the CPAG. It's just one of its advantages is that it provides step-by-step guides to help you calculate benefit entitlement in the light of your student income. And of course that is of crucial importance at the moment because of the way in which the funding of higher education is currently going. We will await the general election on the 7th of May and we will see then what happens, if anything. But for the time being, this is the current position. So you would need it probably for the autumn term, come autumn 2015. Now, writing in the foreword, NUS President Tony Pearce and Colin Maguire, who's Vice President Welfare, both stress that clear, relevant information on financial support for students is vital. This handbook therefore provides precisely that. It offers the full spectrum of advice regarding student entitlements in England, Wales and Northern Ireland, to include tax and health benefits, plus advice on all the latest changes to the benefits system, including universal credit, which is coming in as I present this particular review, and personal independence payment. And I think it's important to note that if you are a Scottish student, you should check out the companion guide entitled Benefits for Students in Scotland Handbook, also from the Child Poverty Action Group. Besides those all-important step-by-step guides, this handbook also provides full indexing and cross-references to the relevant law, and as I say, you'll find the notes at the end of each chapter. Many of the footnotes contain references to the relevant legal authorities, and in Appendix 1, for example, there is further advice on locating helpful legislation and other financial help. And to give you even more ammunition in case you get into any arguments regarding your possible entitlement, Appendix 3 provides a rather lengthy list of Acts of Parliament and all sorts of other information to which you might refer, in other words, sources, if you like. Now, it's now in its 11th edition for the year 2014 to 15. It's well established and highly regarded as a handbook, and its advice and information as a resource is something that no student can be without. The current edition, as I say, is intended for use for the year 2014 to 15. That's the academic year. Information for 2015 to 16 is also provided where available. But I say that the point here is that this book at the moment is where we are today in March 2015. But it may well be that there are changes this May which could affect what happens in the autumn. Now, that's the back again, so you've got some idea of what the content is, and there's some useful comments there about the book itself. Let me just remind you of what it's got in it. I mentioned Appendix 3. Those are abbreviations that are mentioned. They also have, when I mentioned the Acts of Parliament, it's the abbreviations of the Acts of Parliament, so you can find things reasonably easily. As I've indicated before, if you look at the actual chapter headings, I'm looking here at Universal Credit. You've got, this is actually chapter 18. This is the new Universal Credit that's come in. You can see the notes which are set out clearly at the bottom there. So you can find things. The typeface is quite small, but there again, that's the way it is with many publications today. This is about vocational courses for those who are not doing academic studies as such. But again, you've got a very wide range throughout the contents section, very wide range of areas which are covered, looking at the various issues which people may well be faced with, all of which is very directly related to, obviously, to tax itself and any income that you get. And it says how to use the handbook, which I mentioned before. Do have a look at that so you get to know your way around it. I think it's a very important book for most students to have in this day and age, because this is the first time when you leave home or whatever you're doing that you actually need to control your budgets quite effectively. So this is, apart from anything else, an excellent help in pointing you in the right direction about careful fiscal control, because you have to have that with whatever you do in life. Anyway, I'm very grateful to the authors, obviously David Malcolm, Lynne, Condell and Angela Toal, and also to both CPAG and the NUS for the collaboration. It's an excellent publication. Thank you to all concerned. Good luck with your studies as well. Bye-bye.